It all started with a glossy brochure that landed in my mailbox one rainy afternoon. I was flipping through the junk mail, sipping my coffee, when this thing caught my eye. Lakefront paradise awaits. It screamed in bold letters, with a photo of a sparkling blue lake framed by towering pines and a perfect sunset dipping below the horizon. The houses looked like something out of a magazine, modern yet cozy, with wide decks overlooking the water. I remember chuckling to myself, thinking, yeah, right, like I could afford that. But something about it hooked me. Maybe it was the way the image promised peace, a escape from the chaos of city life. Little did I know, that brochure was the bait, and I was about to bite hard. My name's Alex, and at the time, I was pushing 40, stuck in a dead-end job as a marketing consultant in the suburbs of Chicago. Life felt like a treadmill: work, bills, the occasional weekend barbecue with friends who were all starting families while I was still single and scrolling through dating apps. I'd always dreamed of owning a place by the water. Growing up, my family had this old cabin on a small lake up in Wisconsin. We'd spend summers fishing, swimming, and telling ghost stories around the fire. Those memories were golden, the kind that make you nostalgic on tough days. So when I saw that ad for Willow Lake Estates, a gated community with HOA-managed lakefront properties, it felt like fate was calling. The allure was immediate and overwhelming. I drove out there on a whim one Saturday morning, the kind of crisp fall day where the leaves are turning fiery red and orange. As I pulled up to the entrance, a wrought iron gate swung open after I punched in the visitor code from the brochure. The road wound through manicured lawns and flower beds that looked like they'd been painted on. Then, there it was, the lake. Crystal clear, stretching out like a mirror reflecting the sky. Houses dotted the shoreline, each with private docks where boats bobbed gently. I could smell the fresh water mixed with pine, and for a moment, I forgot about my overdue credit card bills. This wasn't just real estate, it was a lifestyle upgrade. The perceived value hit me like a wave. These properties weren't cheap, starting at $500,000, but everyone knew lakefront homes appreciated faster than stocks. Limited supply, endless demand. Owning one meant you'd made it, right? A symbol of success, stability, and that elusive American dream. I met the realtor, Sarah, at the model home. She was all smiles, in a sharp blazer and heels that clicked on the hardwood floors. "Alex, welcome to your future," she said, handing me a chilled bottle of water. We toured the place, and she painted the picture perfectly. Private access to the Latino crowds, no public beaches full of screaming kids and litter. Just you, your boat, and the water. Recreational opportunities galore, fishing tournaments, kayaking clubs, even a community sailing school. And the community itself? It's like a big family, Sarah gushed. HOA events every month, barbecues, holiday parties, yoga by the shore. Everyone looks out for each other. She showed me the clubhouse, with its gym, pool, and lounge overlooking the lake. It all sounded too good to be true, but that's the hook, isn't it? Marketing promises that tap into your deepest desires. I signed up for more info right there, my heart racing like I'd just won the lottery. Over the next few weeks, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'd scroll through the community's website at night, zooming in on photos of happy families picnicking by the water, couples sipping wine on their decks as the sun set. The testimonials were glowing. Best decision we ever made. Feels like vacation every day. It drew me in because it promised more than a house. It promised belonging. In a world where everything felt disconnected, this was a ready-made village of like-minded folks. Retirees escaping the rat race, young professionals like me seeking balance, families wanting safe spaces for their kids. The HOA took care of everything: landscaping, security patrols, even snow removal in winter. No more mowing my own lawn or worrying about burglars. It was exclusivity wrapped in convenience. But what really set the hook was the emotional pull. I started imagining my life there, waking up to birdsong and lake views, hosting friends for weekend getaways, maybe even meeting someone special at one of those community events. It tapped into that nostalgia from my childhood, the dream of recreating those perfect summers. And status? Oh yeah, telling people I lived on the lake would change how they saw me. No more just getting by. I'd be the guy with the boat, the envy of my social circle. The marketing was masterful. Drone videos of the lake at dawn, emails with subject lines like, "Your slice of serenity awaits," and virtual tours that made you feel like you were already there. I crunched the numbers, stretched my budget, and before I knew it, I was putting in an offer on a 2-bedroom cottage right on the water. The day I closed, I felt invincible. This was a lakefront dream come true. Moving in was a whirlwind. The neighbors welcomed me with a basket of local jams and a note inviting me to the next HOA meeting. My place was small but stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows facing the lake, a kitchen with granite counters, and a deck where I could sit with my morning coffee watching the mist rise off the water. The first few months were bliss. I'd kayak at sunrise, feeling the cool spray on my face, or join pickup basketball at the community court. The recreational stuff lived up to the hype: fishing derbies where we'd compete for bragging rights, group hikes along the trails that hugged the shoreline. And the community? It was tight-knit, all right. Potlucks every Friday, where folks shared stories over grilled burgers and cold beers. I met Lisa, a graphic designer who lived 2 doors down. We bonded over our love of sunsets and started dating casually. Life felt idyllic, like I'd stepped into one of those feel-good movies. But cracks started showing, subtle at first. The HOA fees were steep, $500 a month, and they covered more than just maintenance. There were rules. Lots of them. No loud music after 9 p.m., approved paint colors only, even restrictions on what kind of boat you could dock. I shrugged it off initially. Rules keep things nice, right? Then came the first incident. My neighbor, Tom, an older guy who'd been there for years, put up a bird feeder on his deck. Harmless, you'd think. But the HOA board sent him a violation notice apparently. It attracted nuisance wildlife. Tom fought it at the meeting, his face red with frustration. "This is my property," he barked. The board president, a stern woman named Margaret, just smiled politely. "We're all in this together, Tom. The rules protect our investment." He grumbled, but took it down. I sided with the board mentally. Hey, no one wants squirrels raiding picnics. As winter hit, things got tenser. The lake froze over, and some kids started ice skating on it. Fun, innocent stuff. But the HOA clamped down. No unauthorized activities on the water, even frozen. Liability issues, they said. Parents were furious, whispering about how the promises of recreation felt hollow. I stayed out of it, focusing on my own slice of paradise. Lisa and I were getting serious. We'd spend evenings by the fire, talking about our futures. She loved the community vibe, but even she admitted the rules felt a bit suffocating. "It's like living in a fancy prison sometimes," she joked one night. I laughed it off, but deep down, a seed of doubt planted itself. Spring brought the real storm. Rumors swirled about the lake's water quality. A local environmental group posted online about runoff from nearby farms polluting the water, making it unsafe for swimming. The HOA dismissed it as baseless fear-mongering, but I noticed fewer people boating. Then, at an HOA meeting, a new resident, Elena, stood up. She was a fiery activist type with data in hand. "Our dues pay for maintenance. Why aren't we testing the water regularly? This isn't the pristine paradise you sold us." Margaret shut her down quickly. "We have experts handling this. Let's not spread panic." But Elena didn't back off. She started a petition, knocking on doors, including mine. "Alex, you seem reasonable. Don't you want to know what's in that lake you're so in love with?" I hesitated. Part of me wanted to ignore it. My property value was soaring, up 15% in 6 months. But curiosity won. I joined a secret group chat Elena set up. Turns out, the HOA had known about potential issues for years, but kept quiet to avoid scaring buyers. Marketing promises of crystal clear waters? More like carefully edited photos. Recreational opportunities? Limited by endless regulations. And the community? It was divided: long-timers like Margaret hoarding power, newcomers pushing for change. Tensions boiled over when Tom, the bird feeder guy, got fined $1,000 for planting unapproved flowers. He exploded at the next meeting. "This isn't a community. It's a dictatorship." Fists almost flew as sides formed. That's when the drama escalated. Lisa and I were out on the lake one evening, paddling in our kayak, when we spotted something odd: dead fish floating near the shore. Dozens of them. My stomach dropped. We reported it, but the HOA's response was swift and suspicious. A cleanup crew arrived at dawn, hauling them away before most residents woke. Elena blew the whistle online, posting photos she'd snapped. The chat group erupted. Accusations flew: cover-up, negligence, even hints of bribery with local officials to keep building permits flowing. Margaret called an emergency meeting, her voice shaking with controlled rage. This is sabotage. We're suing for defamation if this continues. I found myself in the middle. Lisa urged me to speak up. She'd discovered emails showing the HOA had ignored warnings about algae blooms. But my job depended on stability. I couldn't afford a lawsuit or plummeting property values. The high was the board election. Elena ran against Margaret, promising transparency and fewer rules. Campaigning got ugly. Anonymous notes left on doors, calling Elena a troublemaker who didn't belong. Whispers about her background divorced. Activist past turned into outright smears. Tom rallied supporters, yelling in meetings about how the dream had turned nightmare. We bought paradise, but got petty tyrants. The night before the vote, things turned gay can. I got a call from Sarah, the realtor. Alex, stay out of this. The HOA keeps values high, rock the boat, and you'll sink with it. Her tone was threatening, hinting at blacklisting if I sided with Elena. Lisa overheard, and we argued fiercely. Are you really going to let them bully us? She snapped. This place is poisoning us literally. I paced the deck, staring at the lake that now looked murky in the moonlight. The allure that drew me in the serenity, the value, the community felt like a facade cracking under pressure. Election day was chaos. Residents packed the clubhouse, air thick with tension. Margaret spoke first, smooth as ever. We've built something special here. Don't let outsiders destroy it. Elena countered with facts. Water test results she'd commissioned independently, showing elevated toxins. This isn't about rules, it's about safety. We deserve the truth. Votes were cast anonymously, but alliances were clear. When results came in, Elena won by a slim margin. The room exploded. Margaret stormed out, vowing appeals. Cheers mixed with boos, friendships shattered in seconds. But victory was short-lived. The next morning, police cars lined the streets. Tom was arrested, accused of vandalism after security cams caught someone tampering with the clubhouse locks. He swore innocence, but evidence pointed his way. Elena suspected a setup. Margaret's allies whispered about radical elements. The community fractured further. Lisa and I, caught in the crossfire, decided to sell. Our relationship strained under the stress. She wanted to fight. I wanted out. As we packed, I reflected on the hook that snared me. Those idyllic scenes masking deeper issues. Marketing promises hiding fine print. The dream of community clashing with reality's conflicts. In the end, Willow Lake Estates survived the scandal, but changed. Elena's board implemented reforms, regular water testing, relaxed rules, but trust was eroded. Property values dipped temporarily, sparking lawsuits from early buyers claiming false advertising. I moved back to the city, wiser and wary. The lakefront dream? It's alluring, sure, but beneath the surface lurk currents that can pull you under. What do you think? Are HOA communities a necessary evil for maintaining paradise? Or do they stifle freedom and hide dangers? Would you risk the dream knowing the potential pitfalls, or stick to independent living? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if this story got your blood pumping. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life tales that might just change how you see the world. What's the biggest real estate regret you've heard of, and could it top this? Let's debate.